Right here with MVI, and we are in a 2012 Chevy Camaro. As you can see, it's got the base radio on it, nothing fancy. We are going to put the factory touchscreen like you've seen us do it before. This is going to be kind of an updated video though from our last one that was shot a few years ago. So we'll get started. This one does have the manual transmission. This knob is going to have to come off. So just take and turn this counterclockwise. That will come down. That leaves a Torx screw right there. This is a T25. Let's set this stuff where it's not going to get lost. That guy will come right off. I've already removed this side panel. It's got to come off for ease of the video. We'll go ahead and do this one. This particular customer's had this apart a few times. This is snapping apart super easy. Get this out of our way for now. We're also going to be accessing this back half and taking this guy off, which I believe, so there's going to be two screws on the side, which we can see. And once we move the seats forward, I'll show you that here in a second. That way we can access the USB on the inside of this guy down here to retain that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy up out of our way. And you've got some big connectors right there. At this point, guys, it's best not to turn the key. I've got two 7s down here I need to remove. And typically, these guys can be a little bit of a bear to get out. But let's pull it up. Sounds aggressive. It's just nice and tight. We're going to unplug this. This is the plug we're going to be working with for our wiring. Wiring does have to be added. This guy just comes out and sets aside. And 4 7s right here. So again, guys, you guys want to do this upgrade, your old radio will not work. You do need to get the radio and the screen. And if you do get those, you can't just plug them in and they'll work. You're also missing the wiring, which we'll show you here in just a second. So our kit will consist of several pieces, this being the main one. So if you do get your own touchscreen and radio, you will need this guy. Runs $250, but that's going to complete all the circuits, which I'll show you here in a second. It's also going to include the USB cables to retain your factory USB port. If you have USB, if you don't have USB, I will give you a port to add it. And then it's also going to have that blue cable, which I'll show you here in a second, that connects to the screen. So let me get things kind of prepped here and I'll be back to show you the wiring. All right, so this customer did get his own screen from wherever, eBay, whatever, which we can work with you guys that want to do that, and his new radio. You do, if you're wanting to have nav, do need to see the nav button up here on the outside. You also need to see this blue round GPS connector. If it's a non-nav, it's not going to have this guy. Then they'll all have this little blue USB cable here, which does come in our kit. But what I'm going to do here is go ahead and plug this in and show you what happens if you attempt this without the wiring. So first things first, get the provided cable plugged in there. Reason being, guys, you're missing this plug right here and all the wiring to it. And without it, you're gonna go nowhere. But proof is in the pudding, as they say. So plug in here. You're also missing harnessing and wires in here, but I'll prove that to you here in a second. And I wouldn't normally recommend turning the key right now without plugging this guy back in, but I've got the equipment to clear code, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And as you can see, I've got backlighting for fan. Fan even works, it's going to control that, but we've got no screen whatsoever, so nothing there. So what I'll do next is we're going to go ahead and add the wiring, but this radio was purchased used on eBay or whatever else, and it has not been programmed yet. So I'm going to go ahead and add the wiring and not program it, and turn the key and show you what you're going to get if you don't have your radio programmed, and then we'll get you the final unit. So trying to give you guys the full spectrum of what all is involved and why here. All right, guys, so we're back in the Camaro. We do have to run some wires over behind the glove box. So if you are doing a nav, you're going to have to access behind the glove box, either to run the antenna up under the dash, which I'll point out, or to the OnStar module to hook up the splitter cables. Regardless, you're going to need to go there anyway for the voice recognition. And then if you happen to have a factory camera that displays up in the rearview mirror, the connection to retain that camera and get it to display on the new screen is over here in this junction, which I'll point out to you once I get to that point. But where you see that blue arm is where we're going to be making the connection for the cameras, so I'll point that out. But for now, show you how to get this glove box out. The main thing here, guys, is, sorry for it being so dark, right down here is a little arm. So I'll be back to show you with the light. If you're good, just gonna kind of pull it down, and it's got a little, you can go ahead and let that down, a little ear tab here that basically hooks on the back side of that right there. So just want to get that out of the way, and then from there you're just going to pull in on each side. This will fold down. Again, you could probably stop right here if you wanted. I kind of like to have things out of my way. I just kind of get those little notches over the arms, and this guy will pull right out and set aside out of our way. That's going to give us room to get in here and pull wires through here, which we're going to be doing next. Your OnStar module does sit right here, and it does take 3 T15s, so I'll get those out the way here in a second. This cover comes down, the OnStar module sits right behind there, so I'll point that out here in a second. But for now, let's go ahead and start on the wiring. So in our kit, guys, everything is labeled. It's the main thing to concern yourself with here. All right, guys, so in regards to navigation vehicles, if you're getting the harness kit from us and you have nav, you'll be getting a splitter setup or a antenna. 2010 and 2011 vehicles will get this guy, which I'll explain here in a second. 2012 and up vehicles will get this setup. So you will notice that we've got 3 different cables here. This one's for your GPS, okay? It's gonna plug into that blue. Pink to pink. This one's left open. So you may get a maroon connector or a brown connector depending on your year. So if you're 12, 13, 14, you're gonna get maroon. If you're 15 and up, you're gonna get the brown. These will connect at the OnStar module, which is kind of hard to, which is right there, guys. On the back side, up here is going to be either your maroon or brown colored connector. Having a hard time seeing it there, but it is back there. You're gonna unplug that. If you have brown, you unplug brown. It's whatever I send you. That's gonna plug onto my gray port of the splitter here. Okay, so there, this is the cable that was plugged into the OnStar module. And then the other end of my cable, which is maroon or brown, will plug back onto the OnStar module where you just unplugged. Then you're gonna want to secure this up. You can't let this sit here like this, guys, because that cap won't go on there. So you are gonna have to tuck it up, which I'm gonna do here in a second. Now, if you come with the GPS antenna, this guy, if you're 10 or 11, okay, or you happen to not have OnStar, it'll plug into the back of the radio. Cable in there that'll plug into the back of the radio. And then you can kind of see this cavity right here. You can reach your hand all the way up and feel the air duct on the top of the dash there. And this should ship with a little strip of Velcro or double-sided tape. If not, you don't even really need it, but you can pick it up at the parts store. Just sandwich this in between the top portion of the dash up there and the top of the air duct. It's tight, and it'll just sandwich in there nice and neat, and that's the perfect spot for the antenna. Like I said earlier, if you have factory camera, that connection is going to be right here working with this connector, so I'll point that out as soon as we get there. But I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and plug the radio back in and the screen in and show you what we're going to have on the screen there. So I'll be back here in just a second. All right, so plug there. If you're adding camera, guys, that's what this little pigtail is for. This one's already got the factory camera, so we're not going to worry about that. And I need my blue cable. Okay. Blue cable in. This guy here. Be careful of your shifter, guys. Nice new screen will get scratched here pretty quick. There's that, and we just need the key. We got screen, get all excited, and no, it's locked. So this is why I say, guys, if you buy any used radio, you're gonna have to come to us first for the programming before it's gonna work in your car, so we can make that go away. So I'm gonna work on that next. We'll work on getting our camera started and show you those connections. Be back to show you the outcome. All right, guys, so I am back in and programmed. I do want to point out the new USB. If you have the factory USB and the center armrest here, you are going to require a new USB cable setup, which again does come in our kit. So with our kit comes USB regardless. So if you currently have USB in your center armrest, we'll retain it with our new cable setup. I tell this by the VIN. If you don't have it, we can add it for you. That way you can do some, you know, phone, iPod stuff, whatnot. Anyway, so that's got to be plugged in and then routed. Let me get this kind of put back in place here. Down around the back side. I will warn you, you're going to have to, so it's two USB cables that have to come together. You're going to want to route it around the back side of this first and then put things together along the way, which we've done here. And then in the back, you'll just simply unplug the factory USB that was there. It's no longer going to be used. Tuck it and then plug the new one in there. So that's if you're retaining the original USB port. Otherwise, if you're adding, you can pop it there or wherever you want. You can see where there is two junctions there that come together. So that's why there's two cables. You just plug them together, tuck them, secure them, so everything will go back nice and neat. And then this was that notch to get this back piece off. Let me grab it. A little notch right there kind of clicks in here, so you got to kind of pry it out, over, and then up off that back ledge is how it snaps in there. So okay, hope that helps. Come up here. Again, I have reprogrammed things. Plug in. All harnesses in. Let's go ahead and turn the key and show you what you got. So we got our MyLink, and now we're good as far as audio, and it's unlocked and fully functional here, guys. So from this point, now we've got our full MyLink navigation. If I want to go to nav, it's here somewhere. These icons can be moved around, but that'll load the map. Then we can now plug in and use USB or pair your phone to Bluetooth and play music via audio. So USB would be lit up if we're plugged in, which I can't because I've got the phone recording type thing. And then of course Pandora, Stitcher, all that good stuff. So we'll go ahead and start it real quick, show you. We're gonna go to reverse. Yep. I've got the trunk lit up, so it's showing you some paint because of that, but now your camera displays there and here at the same time actually. So that is a feature. Retain both. So that's it, guys. Another install by MVI. Wanted to show you the new video. For more information, pricing, etc., give us a call at the number at the end of the screen or text. Thanks so much.